Okay, if my videos are in any kind of the right order, which they're probably not, considering I gave up on that a long time ago. But anyway, to make a long story short, this brake booster, it's leaking. It's leaking vacuum, not working like it's supposed to. It still works, but not like it's supposed to. So anyway, to remove it, there's no way to video it. There's no way to show you until I've got it off. There's 4 bolts on the back of it. Well, they're not bolts, they're studs come out of the booster and bolt to a bracket. There's also a bar that goes from the pedal to it. It's a Z-bar setup. I'll have to show you once to take the darn thing off. And of course the master cylinder's on with 2 bolts. Right now my project is to come up with a piece of wood or something to block up my master cylinder, because it's going to be hanging by the wires, and get this booger off and take it back and exchange it. You know, I hate reman parts, but at least they've got a lifetime warranty. So anyway, I'll show you when I get it off. Okay, I was a little agitated. As you can see, there's my darn brake lines. There's no master cylinder. There lays the booster and this master cylinder. You don't even want to know why I had to take them both off. Did not want to take the master cylinder off at all. I mean, it was kind of like it was against my religion. I did not want to have to bleed the brakes and everything, because there was no air in the brake lines, etc., etc. But there is a piston that is inside this. I've had it apart. I put it back together. I was just too ticked off to make a video. There's a piston that's inside this booster. It goes to the plate that's in the middle of it. The front side of this booster is negative pressure, so when you push the back and push it in, it's real easy to push. It kind of helps suck it toward the front to push the master cylinder. That's the whole point in the power brakes. Well, anyway, I took the master cylinder loose. The rod that goes into the booster, it comes out of the booster, don't get me wrong, but it was stuck in the master cylinder. It will not come out. I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. I can't get it out. I beat on it. I took a 1/2-inch wrench, slid over it, and then banged on it with a hammer. Tried everything with it on the truck. Of course, it bouncing around didn't help matters none. Now that I've got it off the truck, I could probably get the rod out, but you know what? I bought this as a darn unit, master cylinder and the booster. The booster's bad. You know, I've done took it off. Why the heck not just put a new master cylinder on it? It's already off. But anyway, for all of you that have these trucks, like old Mater here, and don't have power brakes, this right here is a modified original bracket for this truck. It is modified. I had to do a little grinding. You can see right there I had to make 2 little basically holes in it. I had to do that to fit the back cone of this booster that's on it, which is not the right one. This bottom lower pin, there's supposed to be a pin that was in these brackets. Well, it was froze up when I got this truck, so that's a lock nut, a bolt, a few bronze bushings, a nut for spacing. It comes out right. It looks a little funky, but it works. And there was a shouldered pin in there originally, and that right there is a pretty well a good copy of it. It works great. Well, anyway, to go away from the Marine booster, which was the brand name that GM used instead of Bendix, you have to oblong these holes, and I just took a drill and wallered until it fit. That's how I did it. But as you can see, in the center of that, under a little piece of black tape that's hanging down, there's another rod. That comes from the brake pedal. It used to be a round rod. Well, I had a car on the back of this thing one time and stood on the brakes hard to stop. I bent the rod. I pushed on it so hard. Yeah, I'm a pretty tough little boy. Well, I replaced it with a piece of flat stock. As you can see, there's a flat stock hole drilled through it. Works fine. Used the original bolts, the original holes, clips, pins, everything. Worked like a charm. And a lot of you have asked me why I had this metallic HVAC tape, aluminum tape, around this bracket. Well, that flat bar is why. There's supposed to be a round seal that goes in there that seals that from the engine compartment. Well, I went to a flat rod. It ain't round. And I hadn't quite ever come up with a seal for that. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to come up with something. But I hadn't really ever come up with a seal for that. And that was the point in the HVAC tape. I had it sealed from the firewall. I had that whole bracket sealed up to seal the air. I sealed it on the outside. I may revisit this at some point. It's wintertime. I'm going to have to do something, and I don't particularly want to wrap that back up in aluminum foil tape. So we'll see what we can do to get it right. But anyway, some of you may already be saying, this looks familiar. I've seen this setup before. You have. Oh, and by the way, the booster hooks at the top. There's a pin goes through right there at the top. Hooks to the booster. The pedal hooks there, and that's a pivot. You've seen this little Z-bar setup before. Ford truck, 70s. Yes, it will work. I've done it. You can take a Ford truck bracket, pedal rod, the whole nine, and put it in one of these old trucks. The only thing you do have to do is back here where it does bolt on, it's a little different. You got to drill, if I remember right, you have to drill 2 new holes. I can't remember, in the bracket, but it will fit. And if you get the correct booster, the one from the, if I ain't mistaken, it's a F-150 is the one that will fit, will clear the hood. 250 won't, but the bracket's the same. All you really need is a bracket. Once you've got a bracket, all you need from there is just go to the parts store. O'Reilly sells this. That is a 69 Chevrolet 1-ton booster and master cylinder. Okay, as y'all are noticing, there's another problem. It's a dual master cylinder. But you notice I have 2 brake lines. Well, that's a whole other story. You can get that booster, put it on that bracket, hook it all up, run your vacuum line to it, boom, you've got brakes. But you've got to connect your lines. Well, it's real simple. You go down to the passenger side of the cross member, the main line, which is a rusty looking one, which is still good, believe it or not, it's an original. It goes down, it goes, and it tees off, goes to the driver's side front brake, and it goes over to another tee, which goes to the passenger side front brake. I'm not going to crawl around this truck to show you, but you can figure it out. It goes across over there to another junction. When you hit that junction on the passenger side, it's got another line that goes off to the rear brakes. Buy you a brass plug. Take the rear line off, put you a plug in it. Okay, your problem solved. You just plugged off your back brakes from that front line. Okay, that's simple. That tells you right there you've got independent front brakes. Well, what are we going to do with the back? Well, the back brakes are real easy too. You go over where you took it loose from that junction block, you use a brass union, not a compression fitting, but a union, and you take another length of brake line, which is that shiny line right there, and you root it back up here and you plumb it into the brakes. Simple. You have front and rear separate cylinders, or the master cylinder. You blow a front brake line, you're not royally screwed, you've still got brakes. But this old system with one line, you're pretty well screwed. Real simple conversion. They sell these conversion kits. You can buy them online, $400, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. Of course, I was blessed. This one actually had factory power brakes on it, so I had something to start with. Or I don't know if I would ever put power brakes on it, running the radical cams and stuff that I have in this truck. But, as some of you do know, if you look down there, you see that big round thing? That's a vacuum reserve tank. I got plenty of brakes. But anyway, that's the deal. You can modify a Ford truck bracket and pedal rod and whatnot. You can modify all that and use it and put this booster on it if you don't have the booster, or you can use the Ford booster and the Ford master cylinder. It will work. I've done it. So, but anyway, this here is a reman that started leaking around the seal up in right under where my foot's at. It started leaking. I tried the old trick of take a chisel and a hammer right there and try to reseat it and try to seal it back, and also done the other trick, as you can see right there. I used the handle of a screwdriver against it and a hammer. I tried to just wobble it around because it is chilly outside and everything. I thought maybe I could walk that seal back. I've had success in the past. I didn't this time. I was just trying to avoid taking the darn thing off. But anyway, go put your dual brakes on your truck. You'll love me for it, and that's the gist of that. But I may show you and just put back on. If I play my cards right, I may not have to bleed it because these lines are just sitting here. They're sitting with fluid in them. They're just sitting here. I'm going to plug them off, try to find something to plug them off with. I'm not real sure what. And I'm going to go exchange this booster. And by crickies, they told me they'd have it yesterday, so they better have that booster or I'm going off. See ya. Well, hello everybody. As yous have probably seen, I don't know if you have or not, brake booster was bad. I removed it, took it off the truck. Yep, I did. A dumbass, yeah, a dumbass at an O'Reilly Auto Parts was supposed to get it for me and have it for me on Saturday. Shouldn't have been no problem. They had it in the warehouse in Knoxville. If he hit the right button, I'd have had it Saturday. But I didn't really need it Saturday. I wanted it on Sunday. That's when I took it off. I actually took it off the truck. Well, anyway, I can't remember if I videoed it. I think I did. But anyway, I took the thing off the truck, and I went to get the new one, which was supposed to be in there the day before. Wrong. He ordered it on the DC truck, which comes tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Well, this is Monday. Well, I
got a little agitated. Well, I called up there this morning. He assured me it'd be there today. Well, I called up there this morning and actually talked to somebody that knew what they were doing. And he informed me that it would be there tomorrow. And I said, what the heck? I need it today. I need it now. I need it yesterday. And he said, well, I can get it. He said, they're showing another one because the one this dummy ordered was tied up in La La Land. Okay, well, he got the other one coming. So I got me a booster. I got it today. But needless to say, stupid people should not be allowed to breed, okay? Well, anyway. Run over the camera. Brake booster, master cylinder combo. Well, yins may have noticed that I did not really want to replace the master cylinder. But we did. And the person that's going to help me bleed it out don't particularly like the camera, so you won't get to see any of that. But what I'm going to do is, them lines right there are still full fluid up to the top. If you know anything about a master cylinder, well, you got to bench bleed one. Well, I'm going to bench bleed this sucker on the truck just because I'm lazy. It's easier. And I probably won't video that either. If you ever buy a master cylinder and you go to bench bleed it, there's plugs come in it. You pumpy until you quit getting the bubbles up out of it. It's pretty simple. But anyway, to make a long story short, there's still fluid up in these lines. Well, it starts to, when you pump a master cylinder, it pushes fluid out, it sucks back. It pushes and it sucks. So the worst thing could be is air is just a little bit in the end of those lines. It'll suck it back into the master cylinder. It will work its way out if I keep fiddling with it. And that's what I'm planning on doing because there's no air down in the system, so it can't go any further. Somebody can and will argue with me on that point. I know they will, and that's just how it goes. So, the first step in this process is to shove that in there, and I kindly, even though none of this stuff's tight, I just want to set these lines in these holes just to keep any more fluid from running out. And I'm going to start a nut or two, just start them back here to hold this, because this, for lack of better words, this shit's got to go together a certain way. I don't even know if these, what size these are. I think they're 1/2 inch. Nope, they're 9/16. It's totally different than when I took off. They're different thread. I don't know. They put new studs in this booster or something. It's reman stuff. What do you expect? It's probably put together in a third world country with no standards of any kind. I mean, most likely. But old Toe Wrecker's got something he's got to tell everybody. You're going to get a lot of videos, it's just this, literally. I may chop out the middle, but I'm not going to go probably as great as detail on some stuff, because I spend a lot of time trying to make detailed videos of stuff that, honestly, if you can't figure it out, like what I'm doing right now, you can't see what I'm doing, but if you don't have a clue what I'm doing, you don't need to be trying to do this. And, you know, that's just all there is to it. And these things are the tightest I've ever seen. Anyway, I'm going to change the way I go at YouTube. You know, I put everything into YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I mean, I really do. I spend a lot of time editing videos. I spend a lot of time just flat fooling with it. And, you know, something's got to give. I've got stuff on the home front that I need to deal with. And I'm not saying I'm quitting, don't get me wrong, but, you know, the first of the weeks probably you'll see, I don't know, 3 or 4 videos pop up, maybe 5. You'll see me, you'll hear from me 2 or 3 days a week. It'll be boom, you'll get it all at one time. That's what I'm planning on doing. Which is, you know, really no harm, no foul to you all, but it's a change of the way that I operate. And it will make a little bit of difference, nothing extremely major. I'm not really showing you what I'm doing right here, to be honest with you. Ain't no way to show you, but there's these little wave washers. They go on either side of that just to kind of keep it centered. It's not a real big ordeal. You got to get them in there and get that pin through. And needless to say, if I'd have tried to show you that, I'd have dropped the blasted things. But you've got to put that clevis pin back through that before you can actually attach the booster. because if you attach the booster prior, you can't get the pin through. It has to do with modifications. This bracket and this booster are not supposed to be mated together. This truck is, if you know the Dolly Parton song, The Coat of Many Colors, this truck is the truck of many colors and pieces and parts of many years. It is the Heinz 57. It's more like a Johnny Cash song. Actually, the body parts and stuff on this truck, if you can see it when I put it together, it was, let's see, black, red, tan, green, blue, gray, and black. Yeah, that was the colors. That was the color scheme of this truck. Parts off of everything. Fenders, passenger side fenders, original truck, driver side's off of 66, hood's off of 65. The bed actually came off of, originally from what I was told, came off of a 66 model truck, Chevrolet, when it was new, but I don't know that to be true. Just don't hold me to it. There's my neighbor's nice alarm clock. And there's a hateful woman. Does anybody know who she is? Come on, take a wild guess. Who are you? Huh?
Your other half, I guess.
Oh, she's my other half, everybody.
I'm the nice one.
She's lying to you all. If I'm turning bolts, she's lying. I promise you. And for anybody that's wondering why I'm not using a socket, you can't. There's not enough room to get it between the bracket and the bolt. It won't go down over the nut. Just gotta use the open end wrench, can't even use a box end. And it is aggravating. But we're getting at least get it pulled into place. But you get the point. I'll ramble more and I get it back together. But you get the point. I got 3 more of those to do. Okay. It's been about, I don't know, 10 minutes thanks to their fine thread studs and nuts. Anyway, one turn at a time. Hard the whole way. They're in friction fit jobs that they don't just screw on. But anyway, the only thing I've done that you didn't get to see is I took the adapters out. That I had screwed these in there. These are adapters to fit. You know what a brake line adapter is, to make them fit 1/4 inch. So, anyway, those are my adapters. They're out. I've got to open this master cylinder up, make sure it's all in shot. Yep. Got to open the master cylinder. Big screwdriver works well for that. And the only reason I got to open the master cylinder, really, is to dig out the parts and pieces that are inside it. And once again, I stuck those there. This boot was in the box. And this is for the back of a master cylinder on a truck that doesn't have power brakes. I guess they pulled the master cylinder out and this was part of it and they just stuck it in the box with it. I have no clue. But anyway, I brought it home. I thought it might come in handy for something. I've still got to seal up that pedal rod somehow. I really don't know how, but I kept the back, off the back of the old booster. So I've got another, like a seal. Maybe I can notch it and make it work. You take these little rubber plugs and you screw them into here. You may get to see my ugly mug in the process. They all they do is just, they don't tighten real tight, so don't get carried away. You got to be careful, and they don't exactly thread correctly either. They're just plastic junk is what they really are. They just bottom out, and when you bottom them out, best thing to do is to take a wrench, which that ain't the right one. Just take a wrench and slightly Remember, this is plastic. You just want to slightly snug them. Right there should be tight enough. Surely that's tight enough. Anyway, you tighten those up in there. And the next thing you do is you put brake fluid in it and you pump the brakes until all the air bubbles quit coming up out of the master cylinder. It's real simple. I'm going to get my vacuum pump out and we'll hook it to this booster. I'm going to use a large screwdriver and I'm going to show you how to cheat and how to do this. I may be able to bleed this thing by myself. Actually, you may get to see me bleed it there at the lines. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm going to get my vacuum pump out and hook it to the booster and double check it before I go any further, because I sure as heck don't want to redo the hydraulic system twice. This thing's got 2 different paint marks on it. I'm assuming 2 people have inspected this thing and guaranteed it worked, but that don't mean crap. You know, who knows how long it's sat on a shelf, where it came from, who made it, and who passed it just to get it by them at 5 o'clock on Friday evening. So anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, one benefit of being in refrigeration is to have a vacuum pump, a large one. Well, anyway, I've already drawed down on this. I've actually drawn down on that 30-pound cylinder, which is down underneath there. I've done some little rigging there. But anyway, I've done checked this master cylinder. You know what I'm talking about, it's brake booster. I actually took a screwdriver back here behind the linkage that I can't see now. Pretty good. And I can just, I'm pushing the brakes that easy with a screwdriver. So that's pretty simple. So the only thing I've got to do now is actually go find some brake fluid, pour it in it, and I'll kind of try to show you what I'm doing. So hang on. Okay, I know it's going to be hard to hear me over that thing, and I know this is probably going to be shaky, and I'm hoping I'm even at the darn master cylinder, because I'm going to have to do it by hand. See the fluid coming up? You can see the air coming up. It'll eventually bleed itself until it quits seeing air. And they say when you bleed these things to not to use power assist to do it, but a one-man deal, what do? You have to use power assist. And I think I got a leak. Yep, I got a leak on one of my plugs right there, so we're going to have to try to tighten that up a little more. It started squirting out. We don't need that happening. It's hard to judge how tight these plastic plugs, but you sure don't want to strip them. It's like that back one. I think it's already to the point of stripping. That front one went real tight. They're junk. They're designed for one-time use. And you know, this front one, it's defeating the purpose. It's leaking. It's not doing what it needs to do. And you know, I don't know what else to do with it other than try to tighten it a little more. Yeah, I'm stripping the plastic. I don't know if you can see, but I am. I mean, try to tighten it a little more. It's just, you know, it's crazy what sometimes the junk that you have to deal with. There, we got it. Got it sealed. But we're getting air out of it. Whoa! I hope that did not get on the lens of my camera. No, it about did. Brake fluid, in case you don't know, let's look at my camera again. You get to look at my face. Brake fluid will eat the paint off anything. Boy, that thing's getting crazy. Shooting fluid everywhere. But anyway, you can get the point. I'm gonna get my camera out of here before it takes a bath. I'll show you some more in a minute. Okay, for once, you get to hear me say this. I screwed up years ago. I got looking at this, and the more I looked at it, and the more I looked at it, and the more I looked at it. You see the old front line there, it's rusty looking, and the back one is all nice and new looking. Well, that back line goes to the back brakes, and the rusty looking line goes to the front brakes. This particular master cylinder does not plumb that way. And I actually went in the house and researched it on the computer and researched it out and checked it out and went, okay, tow wrecker's a dumbass. So, just in case you ever do this conversion, make sure you hook the lines up right. They've been like that for years. Trucks seem to stop okay. It's got four-wheel drum brakes on it. But you know what? This thing's liable to stop a whole lot better now. But anyway, I'm going to get this all swapped around and get this done. I'll show you some more in a minute. Well, okay. I failed to show you what I did there. Just too blasted messy. But anyway, what I actually did, made sure my lines are in the right place. And if I didn't say it before, this truck was a single master cylinder. It was converted to a dual. That is how the lines got confused and mixed up or anything else. But they are both 1/4-inch lines, so you know it can and will happen. But like I said, I told you how to fix them right. Well, next project is, don't that hood light look all nice and bright and shiny there? More 350 power? Well, it does, but the battery won't start the truck. Yeah. So next project is to, yeah, if I can get over here. Yep. Next project's going to be to get that battery out of that hole. So anyway, yins might get to see it, might not. All depends upon the camera angles. So that's how you change a brake booster. See ya.